Hello. Oh, it's getting lighter up here. Terrific. I'm very pleased to introduce our final panel before our best of show and show wrap up. Before I do that, I'd like to make a couple of thank yous and announcements. Just a reminder that this will all be pre-recorded and made available in about a week on awe.live. If you can tag any photos that you put out on your socials with AWE 2023, that would be appreciated. And thank you again to our sponsors, our gold sponsors, Ant Reality, Arbor XR, HoloLight, Lenovo, Sightful, and Zapper. And an extra big thank you to our titanium sponsors, Magic Leap, Niantic, Qualcomm, Snap AR, and XReal. And now, please join me in welcoming to the stage Yuan, President of IEEE Standards Association, and Ramesh Ramadoss, Chair at IEEE Blockchain, to discuss the acceleration and sustainability of metaverse development. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you for joining us for this last presentation right before the wrap-up of the entire suite AWE. I assume many people are coming back to the main stage because the exhibit floor is closing. So today we are going to talk about, well, it's not projecting. Oh, it is over there. We're talking about AI puts metaverse out of favor. You can say that ChatGPT is dominating everything. Metaverse is out of favor, and the NFT is dead, deep under the water, right? Well, if I'm really talking about this topic, Ramesh will kill me, because he is chair of the IEEE blockchain. Yeah. Well, of course, that's not our topic today. What we are really talking about is metaverse dead, right? Rest in peace, 2021 to 2023, only 3 years. Apparently, that's also not our topic. That's not my personal belief at all. So what we are really talking about today is the acceleration and the sustainability of metaverse development. So myself, I'm the president of the IEEE Standards Association. We are developing and maintaining over 2,000 standards. But I myself happen to be working in the area of XR and the metaverse for more than 20 years. Ramesh, I will leave it to you.
Yeah, I've been in the blockchain space for, well, since 2018. I've been closely tracking the space and, attend a lot of events. And a lot of the events that, they used to call blockchain last year, now they're all called Web3. Web3 Summit, Web3, this and that. So. But I chair the IEEE blockchain technical community. I'll stop here.
Yeah. So why we disagree with the point that metaverse is out of favor or metaverse is dead? Because we need to understand what is metaverse, right? So why it's working. So I personally actually believe metaverse is still the next biggest thing. And I try to define metaverse. People are still struggling with the definition of a metaverse. So I'm trying to provide a definition which could make everybody happy, but eventually I figured out that, okay, it's impossible to make everybody happy. So then I changed my goal. I try to make everybody equally unhappy. So this is my outcome. The definition is that a metaverse could be you can say 3 different dimensions or 3 different aspects. So it could be from the experience view, could be a virtual reality style, which is a digital and different universe, or it could be the AR style, in other words, a digital extension of our current universe, or it could be like a digital counterpart or digital copy of our current universe, which is digital twin. But many people have different view, which is, I call that functional view, saying that the metaverse is the next generation, next version of web, next generation of internet, or the next stage of digital transformation. And on top of this, people are talking about the consumer metaverse, industry metaverse, government metaverse. And of course, Ramesh and I, we are volunteers in IEEE, the world's largest professional organization. So we will say that associations, organizations, those are like a catalyst or glues or like bridges to put everything together. But our view, the point is that metaverse needs AI as digital universes needs digital consciousness. Because metaverse is about a digital universe, right? So how could you imagine in a universe there's no consciousness, but just like virtual digital objects and environments, right?
So you said I can interrupt you. So how does mixed reality fit into this definition?
Well, that's a very good question. So typically I don't like the term mixed reality. Some people say mixed reality is different from AR, but I think that basically the same thing. So IEEE has a conference called ISMAR International Symposium on ISMAR, well, mixed and augmented reality. But to me, I think augmented reality is a broader definition which covers mixed reality.
Okay.
Yeah. So okay. So again, so when we are talking about if AI is putting metaverse out of favor, we should look into metaverse technology landscape. So looking at this landscape, metaverse will require supporting technologies including computation, storage, communications, data, and intelligence, and also core technologies such as XR, in other words, senses and actions, and technologies like engines, modeling, designing, digital content creation technologies to create virtual worlds, virtual maps, virtual scenes, objects, and virtual characters. And also we need digital finance and economy. So in this technology landscape, by the way, I put there decentralization and blockchain as optional components. So that's why we have Ramesh here.
Not optional, but the thing is, how many of you heard about NFTs in this room? NFTs, non-fungible tokens. Oh, okay, 1/3 of you. What's happening in this space? I mean, this is my first conference to AWE, but in the last 7 years, I've been to a lot of blockchain, Web3 conferences, NFT, and all that, and about 130 conferences. So I kind of know what's happening in that space. I speak and all that, panels. So the thing is, here, you hear about folks developing metaverse. It involves headset, the content, all this stuff, right? In the blockchain space, now they call themselves Web3, and folks are building metaverses too. They don't typically have a headset to see that. It's like basically a computer game where they have tokens. So if you're playing that, kind of a game basically, you earn tokens, whatever token they have. And also you can buy virtual assets like piece of land, it's an NFT. So these are all called digital assets or virtual assets. And decentralization, I really don't want to dive into it. This is a term that you would hear a lot when you go to any of these blockchain Web3 conferences. If you want to know more, you can talk to me after this, because I myself, I can give you a lecture on that. By the way, what I want to say is, just to give you an example, to make it short, how many of you know Bitcoin in this room? Bitcoin?
Of course, everyone.
So Bitcoin is actually controlled by like 3 or 4 mining pools. Basically, they can basically add the next block if they collude. So it's really not decentralized. And now Ethereum is actually, there are 4 staking pools can actually collude and add the block on the Ethereum chain. So I can go on and on, but if you want to know, you can talk to me. That's a long story there, but now I think I'll stop here. But the connection here is there are 2 kinds of movements happening. As I said, folks, like AR, VR folks developing metaverse, 3D immersive, and then these blockchain folks building these play-to-earn games, and also involves NFTs. Like they talk about governance tokens, community. It's all about the incentive model that they have for keeping the community together. So almost like there's 2 kind of communities trying to define metaverse. I'll stop here.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. That's why we say the debate between centralized metaverse community and this decentralized metaverse community. But we, of course, we want to do something to unite them together. But the point of this picture is that AI is an integral part of the metaverse technology landscape. So during the past 2 days, 3 days, you heard a lot about how AI fits XR and XR fits AI. So, well, I just want to briefly repeat that AI will boost the development of metaverse from the supply side. Supply side, you know, we are facing the challenge of richness of content. We need to create lots of, let's say, city scale, planet scale, even galaxy scale digital universes. So we definitely need AI to help us. And also in terms of AR, particularly AR style metaverse, understanding the world is very important. So AI will definitely help. And also we need intelligent NPCs, non-player characters, driven by AI. So that is also something very important to improve the experience of metaverses. But something maybe I would say other people did not really address is that the demand side. So I think AI will also boost the demand side of metaverse industry. So previously, many people feel like metaverse is not really a rigid demand. We don't really need a metaverse. Who will need that? But let's say AI is changing the labor market, like it or not. So it's like currently, you know, AI is improving people's skill level to like 90%, but higher. However, only fewer people are still qualified to be professionals because their skill set are still skill level are still like above average. So which means many people need to find new job opportunities or just take fewer working hours and more leisure time. So where we can accommodate those new job opportunities or let's say people's needs to kill the time, I think metaverse probably is the only therapy. Because if we accommodate those kind of needs in the real world, that may be not sustainable, not cost effective. And
I have a question.
Yeah.
So, of course, most of us know, like, ChatGPT, OpenAI,
Yeah.
like all this, you can create text, right? And also there are applications for creating images,
Yeah.
and then also for music. I think there's some videos as well. Like, do you think generative AI can be used to create metaverses?
Yeah, there are a couple of companies already working on this. So we say like AI-generated content in general, which means text, graphics, and like music, sounds, and also some 3D models. I believe, well, I don't really want to mention the name of some particular company, but I think you all know that some companies, some very famous companies are working on this. They have some like, I would say, relatively initial but still promising tools for like AI-generated 3D models.
So
Yeah.
3D models meaning like it's a full-fledged metaverse, or
Yeah, so we need lots of 3D models for like large-scale, fine-graded metaverse. So that's why, yeah. But again, like we believe metaverse will also help the development of AI. We start hearing people talking about the so-called, let's say, multimodal, large language models. The further development will require multimodal data input. And also we heard about the term like embodied AI, and also the so-called AGI, artificial generative intelligence. So let's say embodied AI, for example, if we really want to train an embodied AI, we say that the dog, Boston Dynamics dog over there, yeah. So
two of them.
Yes, 2 of them. So if we really train an AI in the real world, that's probably not the most cost-effective way, and there are some other risks. But if we train AI in a virtual world, that is probably the best practice. Actually, in some industries, for example, the autonomous driving industry, every company is training their new algorithms, their virtual cars on virtual roads first. After millions or even billions of virtual miles, they will put their car on the real road. So that's a new common practice. So I would say that the further development of AI and particularly the emergence of AGI will rely on metaverses. So that would be a new, let's say, best practice. So with that being said, we believe, well, this is five different phases of digitalization. So we believe we are currently between the phase 4 and the phase 5. Phase 4 is about the intelligentization, which is powered by AI. But the next phase, thanks to the recent advancement of AI, the next phase will be actually the metaverse. We call that realitization. So thanks to all the, let's say, digital technologies we developed so far, like the automation, interconnection, personalization, which is basically about Web 2.0, and of course AI, and many other technologies like IoT, like big data, like cloud computing. For the first time, we are facing the, let's say, the horizon that we will be able to create new realities, new universes. Of course, I'm talking about the digital realities. I'm talking about the digital universes. But they are basically, for the first time, we will be able to create new worlds. So that's why we say metaverse is the next stage of digitalization after the current stage of powered by AI.
So where does, they had a whole track on Web 3.0 here. And in fact, we had a panel a couple of days ago debating about the definition of Web 3.0 versus Web 3. Like, where does it fit in your
so, okay. So I think it's, I would say it's like two different angles. One angle is that you can say, I put the interconnection as a digitalization 2.0, and I put the personalization as a 3.0. Those two are corresponding to like Web 1.0 and 2.0. So I believe Web 3.0, if we still believe Web will be the, let's say, the general interface for us to interlock with all kinds of information and data.
Web, or
could be semantic, could be like a mixture of centralization and decentralization, could be 3D, could be, immersive. Well, I think ultimately Web 3.0 could be everything, but still we may need some standards to define different profiles and levels. Otherwise, different people are talking about completely different Web 3.0. Similar to the situation that different people are talking about completely different metaverses. So that's why we actually believe we are developing a particular standard P2048 to provide definitions, terminology, and taxonomy for metaverses. We want to define metaverse as different profiles and levels. So the industry will, have understand the roadmap, the expectations. Similar to the autonomous driving industry. I use this as my favorite example. In the autonomous driving industry, everybody is using the standard specifying autonomous driving from level 0 to level 5. And everybody will say, okay, your company is going to develop like level 4, and we just delivered level 3. So in metaverse industry, I believe we will have some similar situation to help the industry understand the roadmap and talking in the same language.
So on the level of confusion, like which one is high, the metaverse or Web 3?
Well, I would say it's complicated. Maybe Web 3 is probably even worse, but
correct.
Yeah,
I agree.
we need to do something about that.
At least metaverse, we have standards, working group focusing on terminology, taxonomy. I am not aware of anyone trying to define Web 3.0 yet. There are a lot of ideas about ownership, data ownership, and privacy. It depends on who you talk to, right? If you talk to the folks in the blockchain space, they throw everything into a bucket called Web 3 bucket. It's just Web, WEB 3. There's no .o, just Web 3 bucket. And they add, they put everything, NFTs, privacy, decentralized identity, security, everything is in that bucket. Ownership is also part of it, right? Ownership of assets. And if we talk to the folks, like web, like who develop the web, like Tim Berners-Lee and folks, they talk about, I believe they talk about ownership too. The only common theme between these two communities that I see is the ownership. They're talking about users being able to own the data or assets, and you have some control on how much you share and even monetize. Again, this is where the blockchain guys come in and say you can tokenize and earn money for that. But anyway, we'll stop there. But you're saying that's even a lot more confusing terminologies, like Web 3.0 versus Web 3, at least Metaverse. Somewhat,
Yeah, I think naturally
it's define it.
Yeah, I think naturally it's W3C's job to define that, but I don't know if they are working on this or not. I don't know if Tim Berners-Lee is trying to do something about that.
Okay.
Okay, so lastly, let's talk about Metaverse versus sustainability. So we know that actually yesterday I was very proud to present an award, the XR Prize Award for Climate Change. So when Ori Yimba came to me, tell me the idea of setting up XR Prize for Climate Change, I was sort of surprised. I told him, well, not many people are thinking this way. Currently in IEEE, we have two major topics which are getting most attention. One is climate change, another one is Metaverse. But those are two separate topics. So I think not many people will think that the Metaverse and the sustainability are, XR and climate change are relevant to each other. But then I figured out, okay, yes, of course. So first of all, we need to make sure Metaverse will be developed in a sustainable way, because many people are concerned about, well, we are talking about the virtual universes, but it's supposed to consume lots of energy and cause lots of emissions. So of course, we need some green ICT technologies.
Also electronic waste from the...
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So of course,
yeah.
we need to use some innovative ICT technology, particularly green technologies, to minimize the consumption and the emission of Metaverse. But again, if we think in another way, many activities are moving from the real world, the physical world, to the digital worlds. Collectively, we are saving energies. We are reducing emissions. So I would say collectively, Metaverse will be contributing to the greater sustainability. And also, like we saw last night from those XR Prize winners, so Metaverse and the XR can be used to, from the educational perspective, can be used to educate people. Also can be used for climate science research. So I would say collectively, Metaverse will provide a path to promote sustainability. So that's why we came up with the idea that, okay, it's time we consider we are facing a huge opportunity of the takeoff of real takeoff of Metaverse industry. So we are forming this new program to accelerate the development of Metaverse-related technologies, ecosystems, and markets across the world, of course. And we want to make sure this will happen in a sustainable way. And also, collectively, we will make sure this will contribute to greater sustainability and humanity. So we will do what we will do in this program. We call this MASA, Metaverse Acceleration and Sustainability Association. We will develop roadmaps. We will develop open standards, of course. And the open standards will come with a conformity assessment and certification. We will develop open source reference implementations for sure. That will be very helpful to the industry. And also pilot applications. And of course, public awareness, creating positive images
like ethics
of
Metaverse.
Yeah, exactly. Ethics.
Ethics, yeah.
Yeah, ethics and diversity and inclusion. Those kind of things are very important. Because many people, particularly many policymakers, are concerned about that. So we have the responsibility to relieve their concerns by telling them that, hey, we are not talking about selling people profile pictures and name that as Metaverse.
Yeah.
We are doing something really meaningful, Metaverses.
Yeah, a couple weeks ago, there was a hearing at the U.S. Senate about the safety of AI. Now there's a lot of awareness about the safety, right? So ethics, safety are important. So,
yeah. And of course, we also want to help the ecosystem by creating a digital assets pool and exchange. So overall, I would say this program is about accelerate the takeoff of Metaverse industry, because we are seeing a huge opportunity. Rather than saying that Metaverse is dead or Metaverse is out of favor, we are instead seeing a huge opportunity. So we want to accelerate the takeoff of Metaverse industry for sustainability and humanity. If I can say Orimba somewhere, I would like to say thank you again for inspiring me, saying that, hey, Metaverse could be used to fight climate change. So let's do it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.